right, let's have a look. We're going to preview three of the top games this week. And as always, we'll start with the Thursday night game. And it's another big one. Storm up against the Rabbitohs. Carl, how do you see it panning out?
I think the ins for the Storm, Munster, Grant, Bromwich, outweigh Latrell in for the Bunnies while he's a big in and probably brings them a few more points. I think this will be one-way traffic in the way of the Melbourne Storm. Storm have won 6 straight. They won twice last year, including the 50-0 bumping of the Bunnies. So, we talked about earlier, we got blindsided by stats and people in and out last week. And when I look at the hard stats, they've won 6 in a row, possibly more. I didn't go any further than 6. So, yeah, Melbourne for me. I think it's the $1.39 is a very good bet.
Yeah, mate. You don't have to go deep because I'll do it for you. They've won 11 of their last 12.
There you go.
So, the Storm win this. I think Latrell's massive. He's going to do wonders for the kids in the team, the young halfback, Ilias. I think he will work better with Latrell in there. But, mate, you just said Munster, Grant, Bromwich. They've lost players, but I think Trent Larillo last week come off the bench and he was good. Played 50 minutes, 60 minutes. He was good. So I think they've still got those unknowns to fill in the gap for the Storm. And Jerome Hughes, every single week, just consistent. It's what you want in a footy player. He's outstanding.
How good was his try last week? Just out of nowhere.
Yep. The Tigers, they didn't see it.
Wait, I think at home, Storm, way too good.
Yeah. I think Latrell Mitchell, a huge plus for the Bunnies, and he'll make Ilias better. He'll make the whole team better because they were fairly one-dimensional last week against the Broncos, and as long as the Broncos didn't miss a tackle, they were doing really, really well. That when you've got Latrell in the team, then defensive can get a wee bit sort of shaky because it's like, do we double up on Latrell? Because if we don't, and he makes a bust, there'll be a player inside and outside him ready to take advantage of that, or he'll go the whole way himself. They just didn't have anyone who could bust open the game. They do this time, but not against the Storm. I agree. They just look a wee bit too slick. The machine is rumbling along, and it's only week 1. And we're heading into week 2. So, Storm do look good.
Am I right in saying Remus Smith and Dean Adamir will be on the right for the Storm?
Yes. Yeah.
They could be in for a reasonably tough night. The way Latrell likes to swoop around that back down the left there. And feed off Cody Walker, Alex Johnson. So that I can definitely see a few more points in the Bunnies this week. Particularly down that side.
All right, let's have a look at our next game. The next game we'll focus on. Take us through it, Cal. The Titans up against the Warriors.
Oh, I'll tell you what, I'm a lot more nervous about this game now after the results last week. Walsh big in for the Warriors. I like Pompey in. I thought he was pretty hard done by to not get a start last week, to be honest. Jesse Arthurs comes into the centres. The halves, I'm not sure. What do you guys think on the halves? Like you say, Cody didn't play that bad, did he?
Oh, I thought he should have been a lot better when you had Shawnee doing his thing. I sort of thought Cody let it down a bit. He should have been running the ball a bit more with Sean directing it. But this is where I go back to the confidence walking on eggshells.
Yeah.
Do you give someone the benefit of doubt of a game, or do you just chop and change every week and have players not playing with confidence? Because I don't know. I'd been in a position where Cody would be like, you didn't get no confidence out of that. You had a bad game. Everyone has bad games. Are you going to give him a chance to redeem himself for a couple of weeks, or what? That's how I feel. I thought it was a bit weird. Maybe wanted Chanel there for a bit of defense. Ash Taylor and Cody are both a bit small. I don't know what Brown. Personally, I don't. That's why Brownie's the coach. I still want Ewan Aiken in the centres. Even though Josh Curran was outstanding at lock, I still think Jazz at lock, playing with Adam Fanua-Blake and Matt Lodge, ball playing to them is a lot better. And then having Josh Curran out there, still getting that ball, still running lines, still looking outstanding. I think it just puts extra plus to the Warriors. But I don't see them winning, to be honest. Not on the form, without Shawnee and the way the Titans played last week. I can't see it.
Hey, once again, Jesse Arthurs and Rocco Berry in the centres, and you've got Ewan Aiken in the second row, where you have a wee bit of depth in the forward pack. You got a bit, so you could. I mean, he was a centre.
Yeah,
he still is a centre, and he could play there, and that would really, really solidify at least one half of that back line. So yeah, I struggle to see why he's there. I agree with Blake. I'd throw Curran into the second row, put Jazz in the 13, and then you could have Nikorima in the 14 to come in off the bench. But I agree with you. He went missing for major parts of that game last week, Nikorima, and I think it's because, as you say, they're too scared to try something, because if it doesn't work, they're thinking, I'm going to be dropped next week. I'm gone. So instead of trying to do something, they just sit back and do nothing and try not to make mistakes, as opposed to try and create something or try and do something. That's what I saw in week one. Only week one. We might see a bit of a change this week. I'm going to say no, and you'll see why when we start throwing out our bets of the week. But I don't think they've selected the correct side for the Warriors. Reese coming back, big plus.
Yeah.
But if there's one forward, this forward pack could very well have their way against the Warriors. And then if you look at their back line, you got to think it's far superior to the Warriors. So I think it could be a really, really long couple of hours from 5 o'clock on Saturday night for Warriors fans. It won't be pretty. You probably wanted the winning to be this weekend.
Just on the halves, saying they're too scared to try something. On the other side of that, I guess one guy, which is probably a plus for the Warriors, if I'm going to be optimistic at all about this, is Ash Taylor. He's got nothing to lose.
Yep.
He comes up against his old team, so I wouldn't be surprised if he absolutely brains it and gives him a chance to solidify that second spot next to Shawnee once he does come back.
Yeah, I second that, mate. I was about to say, I said there's big pluses with Walsh, big pluses with Lodge. That's just going to boost the Warriors, and if they are to win, it's going to have to be on the back of Ash Taylor directing the troops around, I think. And I think you're right. Teams do lift when they're playing their old team, especially a team that didn't want him. So, mate, fingers are crossed. But I can't listen. I can't see them winning, to be honest. I can't see it. I think the Titans were too good last week. Unless the Warriors play out of their mind, I can't see them. Yeah, Warriors not winning.
What about if I throw some stats at you?
Go on, mate.
Reluctantly says yes.
Go on then.
I'm trying to find them. Where they gone?
Let's do this.
It's only one stat. Warriors have won 9 of their last 11 against the Titans.
Yeah. Different Titans team.
They did the last game. They did lose 44-0.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Come on, boys, lift, lift.
All right. What's the other game we're looking at? What is the other game we're looking
Roosters.
Chooks Manly, you threw me off. I thought you were gonna. That's before.
Yeah, Chooks Manly.
That's Friday night.
Yeah. We should have probably gone to that game before the Warriors game, but I could see you sitting next to me, ready to burst out of the gates. So, a matchup between two teams who are winless after round one, and we certainly wouldn't have expected both teams to be coming into this game. We're both losing, but here we are.
Game of the round.
Game of the round?
Yeah. Game of the round.
Right. I don't mind the look of the Thursday night game, but it certainly has the makings. And the odds suggest it's going to be fairly tight. I think we've got the Roosters slight favourites at the moment. up against the Sea Eagles. Blake, how do you see this one playing out?
Look, just like we do our favourite horses, our best horses, we forgive a run or two, right? He's been held up. He's had a bad run. The conditions
What
weren't
about the
right.
conversation we just had?
Yeah. This is sort of like a Winx or a Black Caviar maybe running around. We forgive a run. So the Roosters, I'm doubling down on Friday night with everything, everything. I think they're back. Look, I just reckon they're not going to put two bad performances in a row, especially at home. A lot of the stuff was uncharacteristic, and in saying that, Manly will be up, feeling the same. I think they don't want to put another bad performance in, but we've seen them start seasons not too well. I think their team, in saying that in the backs, is a bit wrong when they go up against the good teams. I think you need a George Tafua and maybe Tolatau Kula. I think you need them centre wing combination instead of a Parker Saab, because Tafua will just give that punch where Saab's fast, but he's not really running through defense. And I think Kula offers a lot more. So, but in saying that, that's not there. So I think the Roosters are just going to be too big, too strong. Teddy back to his best this weekend.
If the Roosters watched the Penrith Manly game last week, which I'm sure they did, Jason Saab is in for an absolute night under the high ball again. He just got peppered in that game, and he didn't do too much with it, to be honest. And was it Harper? He just got absolutely monstered by Kikau.
Yep.
So I think, I'm with you. I don't think the Roosters are going to put in two bad performances in a row. I think the Roosters will get this one done for sure. They're out to $6 now to win the comp, Blake. If you are doubling down.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
How do you see it, Paul?
I'm leaning the Roosters' way. I just don't see them, as Blake said, putting two really bad performances together. I think they'll have a look back at week one. They'll iron out a few things. I hope we don't see Manu sort of switching between centre and then out to the wing. I'm fairly sure Robinson won't make that mistake again. I just think they probably needed that run under their belt. So I'm going to stick with them this week. I think they should, if they slow the Sea Eagles down, and if the games are refereed the same way as they were in the first week, then once again it goes against Manly's style. So the Roosters for mine in a close one.
They've split the last 10 between them, 5 each.
Yeah. Oh.
And there was Manly won a game 42-6 last year, and the Roosters won the other one 46-4. So it's quite literally.
So it won't be a close one. It won't be a close one. Whoever wins will absolutely smash them.
Well, I guess given the Chooks won the second game, maybe it is Manly's turn to win. Who knows?
Or maybe as a segue into the bets total.